Harry's Wife, Part 104.18. He leaves, she dumps, they crawl back. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to educate you about narcissists and narcissism in a variety of ways, including, of course, the prominent example that is Harry's wife, a mid-range narcissist. There has been relatively fevered speculation just recently as to the fact that the Sussexes may well have separated. As a consequence of the dissemination of information, there has then been speculation and counter-speculation that they have been separated, or that it is just a ruse to increase interest in their various projects, or that it is simply another instance of people speculating that something is wrong in their relationship which has led to a parting of the ways. The Daily Mail back in 2020 said that the odds on the gruesome twosome divorcing in the next 5 years were in the realms of just 4 to 1, whereas a return to the fold into the royal family was the more distant 14 to 1. Every so often, speculation raises its head above the parapet to suggest that they are no longer living together, that they're separated, or that divorce is on the cards. It is unsurprising that this happens. It's unsurprising for 2 reasons. One, there's a huge amount of speculation about this couple, and of course, there are many people that wish that they would part. Some of that is because they simply do not like Harry's wife. Some of it is because people want Harry to wake up and return to his family, and others because quite simply they are sick and tired of seeing the gruesome twosome being thrust onto the world stage, and should they then part, then eventually it would lead to less being said about the two of them. The second reason why such speculation occurs is, of course, the likelihood of the demise of a relationship which involves a narcissist. Some relationships with narcissists endure for decades, and that's quite simply because the victim has not escaped and the narcissist is not disengaged. It is not a happy union, for no union with a narcissist can ever be said to be blessed with happiness. In the beginning, yes, the narcissist gives the appearance of happiness because the individual is under control, is shiny and new and exciting and attending to their fuel needs, and therefore is painted white, seen in the golden glow of infatuation. The victim, thinking they've found the one, somebody that apparently is exciting and caring and fun and interesting and likes all the things that they do, often falls hopelessly in love with their paramour. Of course, this does not last, for as daybreak follows the night, and that the sun rises in the east, and at some point we are all going to shuffle off this mortal coil, devaluation always follows in the ensnarement between narcissist and intimate partner primary source, and thus come forth the bad times. Those bad times take many different forms, of course, from physical violence, sexual violence, cold shouldering, cheating, misusing money, controlling through finances, controlling through clothing, controlling through food, belittlement, invalidation, false accusations, accusations out of nowhere, pity plays. You're all familiar, those that have been in the narcissistic dynamic, of the various manipulations that are utilized when the malign devaluation occurs. Accordingly, when it comes to a relationship with a narcissist, where it is that between narcissist and IPPS, there will come a point where it goes wrong. The duration and extent and the depth of how much it goes wrong will vary upon a variety of different factors, but go wrong it will. And thereafter, as I've explained, it might be that the victim escapes, more usually the narcissist disengages, or the two trundle along. One advantage of my work is that by understanding narcissism, it gives you such insight into realizing why certain people behave the way that they do when hitherto you were mystified as their conduct and outcomes. It also enables you to chart and predict the way that relationships will pan out armed with this information, because the narcissistic dynamic between narcissist and intimate partner primary source follows the courses that I have mentioned. Always. It simply is a question of time and then the appropriate outcome of the one of three that I have already made mention of. In order to help you understand more about where the Sussexes might end up to, given the level of speculation that exists, and, of course, some supporting evidence which demonstrates, of course, that devaluation of a sustained nature is very much in situ. First of all, the time period. The golden period that exists between a narcissist and intimate partner primary source is ordinarily 6 to 18 months, sometimes shorter, sometimes a bit longer, but roughly around that time frame. The Sussexes are out with that, and therefore it follows that they must be in sustained devaluation. Furthermore, we have seen evidence of this. One only has to look at Harry to see how downtrodden, dispirited and depressed he looks. At times irritated, frustrated. The way that she has appeared in public. Glimpses of the death stare, cold shouldering, the use of the grip of doom. It's clear that all is not well. And therefore we know that the sustained devaluation is in place as a consequence of your knowledge of the narcissistic dynamic provided by me and the evidence that we see in the behaviour of the two of them. But then this leads to, of course, speculation as to where is it going? And many want to know. And therefore, utilising my expertise with regard to narcissism applicable to Harry's wife as a mid-range narcissist, to Harry as an empathic victim with strong narcissistic traits, and also factoring in other members of the family which include other narcissists, I am going to provide you in a short series what is going to happen next. I'm going to determine for you, is he likely to leave? And then, if he does, what will happen? Where will he get to? How will Harry's wife respond? What will the rest of other people in the royal family be likely to do should we have the scenario that Harry wakes up, realises something isn't right, and gets out? Where will that leave the children? Where will that leave Harry and his finances? Where will it leave him with regard to what will she do next towards him? How will she respond to this? Will she just disappear? Will she seek out a new target? Or will she seek to draw him back in? Or will she go to war against him, smearing and throwing those mud pies at him? Blackmailing, threatening. What will happen? I will then cover the scenario whereby she disengages, the grounds on which she would do so, the timing of that, and the impact that it will have, how she will behave thereafter with regard to the unravelling of their union. Where will this leave Harry? I'll then also consider that if neither escape or disengagement occurs, where will that lead to? What will they end up doing? Will it necessitate crawling back to the royal family in the United Kingdom? If so, on what basis and how will they seek to achieve that? Or alternatively, will there be an alternative outcome? Will they instead decide that they're going to set off for pastures new? Perhaps New Zealand has the misfortune of being in their sights, or maybe it's time to go to Africa. Or might they dig their heels in and make a concerted effort to try and make things work in the United States? 3 potential scenarios. He leaves, she dumps, they stay together. I'm going to take you through each in a limited series, which will be absolutely engrossing, which will answer many of the questions that you have. It will address many of the points that you have observed, addressing the likelihood of what is going to happen next in the continuing saga of Harry and Harry's wife. Look out for this limited series which shows you so much about the narcissistic dynamic, coming very soon. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.